Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Muslim man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. A true Muslim is the one from whom everybody else, all the Muslimin, all the people around him, they're safe from his tongue and his hand. What does that exactly mean? How could a person keep other people safe from his tongue and from his hand? What does it mean? What is a violation that could happen by tongue or by hand, Jama'ah? What is it? Backbiting, swearing and cursing at them. What else? By tongue. Let's talk about tongue for now. To them. What about mocking them? Hurting their feelings with their speech, being abusive, yelling and screaming, whatever that is, right? All of these things, the Prophet ﷺ said, the true Muslim is the one who's, people are safe from his tongue. Who's those who deserve to be safest around you? Who are they, Jama'ah? How about your parents first? How about your parents? If you're going to be just going to keep everybody else safe and then you just take advantage of your parents because they're elders and old right now, what kind of a Muslim is that based on this hadith right now? And then who comes after your parents? How about your spouse? Right? And then your children. And then everybody else that comes after that. To us these days, it's kind of like a little bit, it's different. Because these people are so close to us, they can accept us regardless, right? So it's okay to yell, it's okay to say something bad, because alhamdulillah, my mom, she's going to always be okay, she's going to forgive me. But my boss, my friends, my colleague, no, I have to be more careful. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Muslim and salim al-Muslimuna min lisani, that first with the tongue. What about the hand right now? Hand is physical. Whether it's physical abuse, or stealing, hurting, whatever that is. And everyone else is safe. When they see you, they don't get intimidated. Yeah, they don't kind of go to the side to give you away because they know if you don't move, if they don't move, you're probably going to hurt them. They don't feel awkward around you. That's the sad part. If people don't feel comfortable around you because they're afraid to be hurt or hear something bad from you or physically get hurt, that's a problem. If you at home like that, like when you come home, your kids, your spouse, they don't want to talk to you because they're afraid if they say something that will make you speak bad or even get physical with them. I mean, subhanAllah, that's bad, Jama'ah. That's really, really bad. And I know that many, husbands, they keep telling me, my wife, she complains and she keeps complaining. I say, you're lucky. Because what do you mean? I mean, what does it mean if you're lucky that she's complaining? I says, because you need to be afraid from the one who is not actually complaining. Because when she doesn't complain, that means she gave up on you. That means she's so afraid to speak to you because she doesn't know how you're going to respond. And that's why she keeps quiet. But the one who's complaining, she feels safe with you. She can still complain and you're going to be okay. You're going to get upset, but then you're going to move on. But subhanAllah, to what level are our families feel safe around us, from our tongue and our hands? The other part of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَالْمُهَاجِرْ مَنْ هَجَرَ مَا نَهَى اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. And a true muhajir is the one, which means that the immigrant basically, is the one who leaves and abandons what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden. Now this hadith was mentioned in the context of comparing al-hijrah with al-Islam. What does that mean? Because back in the days, when the Prophet ﷺ migrated from Mecca to Medina, whoever embraced Islam was required to migrate to Medina. It was like a condition. Just like the 5 daily prayers is one of the pillars of Islam. At the time, one of the pillars of Islam was to migrate to Medina until the conquest of Mecca. When Mecca was conquered, that kind of physical hijrah, physical migration from anywhere in the Arabian Peninsula to Medina was no longer required. But what was required from them is to maintain that meaningful definition of Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ made it very simple. He says, you want to be true Muslim? Then let everybody feel safe around you. That's what it means, because Islam comes from peace, comes from submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If people cannot feel that peace and that tranquility and that submission to Allah Azza wa Jal around you, where are they going to feel it? And then he said, the muhajir right now, you're not required to do hijrah anymore. However, you want to take a reward of a muhajir, like those who came from anywhere in the Arabian Peninsula to Medina, then do it throughout all your lifetime. And what kind of hijrah is that? The Prophet ﷺ says, and the true muhajir is the one who migrates, which means he abandons all that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made forbidden. Why is that? Because it's not easy. Allah Jama'ah is not easy, especially in time like ours. The fitna, the temptation is so overwhelming. Those who, alhamdulillah, live their life and they're 100% clean and clear and pure of any of these faults of this time, they're angels. But we can't find someone like this. It's very hard. So the Prophet ﷺ is telling us, you're no longer required to do physical hijrah, which was back then dangerous. You need now to sacrifice, not physically, but sacrifice actually emotionally and spiritually. And that might require also physically to stay away from the haram. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who always, people are safe around them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And among those who do the hijrah by heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also by mind to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Ya Rabbil Alameen, keep us always on the straight, on that path, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wallahu alam. Any questions, Jama'ah? Hold on. Yes. What do you mean? Uh-huh. Well, people basically, when the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina, anyone who embraced Islam was required to join him in Medina. Some people were unable because of their condition. It was mentioned in Surah An-Nisa as well. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about some of the Sahaba who were detained in Mecca, were not allowed to come to Medina. And some people, they were kind of like living in very dangerous conditions and situations. So the path to Medina would be extremely dangerous for them. So they stayed in their territories. These people were excused. And some people in Mecca, they returned back from Medina to Mecca after the Hijrah. And they got into trouble because of that. But overall, anyone who embraced Islam after the Hijrah of the Prophet to Medina was required to join the Prophet in Medina. Until Mecca was conquered, that's when they were not required to travel anymore. Wallahu a'lam. Nah, that was a requirement back then. Nah. Khair, inshallah. Go guys and do hijrah to your homes, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.